Welcome back. Today, I want you to imagine something most people overlook every single day. Picture an old jar tucked in the back of a closet, filled with dusty coins that once jingled in someone's pocket during the final months of World War II. Inside that jar, without you even knowing, could sit a single coin capable of rewriting your financial future. A coin so rare, so valuable, and so unbelievably sought after that collectors have paid up to $945,000 for it. Yes, almost $1 million for a single 1-cent coin. If that thought doesn't send a shiver down your spine, it should. Because today, we're uncovering the hidden power of the 1945 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny, a coin that many Americans unknowingly have in old drawers, old jars, or tucked inside books they haven't opened in decades. And while most 1945 pennies are common, a few extremely rare survivors have skyrocketed into values so high they almost sound fictional. But they are very real, and they are changing lives. So stay with me, because what you're about to hear might be the difference between tossing away a fortune or discovering one. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown away a penny because it wasn't worth anything? If you have, don't worry. You're not alone. Millions of people do that every year. But after today, I promise you'll look at every single penny differently. And who knows, you might start checking between the couch cushions with a level of motivation you haven't felt in years. Let's step back in time for a moment. It's 1945. The world is still shaking from war, industries are rebuilding, and the US Mint is working overtime to meet the demand for circulating currency. Pennies were struck by the hundreds of millions, most of them made from a blend of copper and zinc. They were simple, everyday coins, created not to be treasured, but to be spent without a second thought. No one at the time imagined that a small handful of these coins would eventually become treasures, commanding value far beyond logic. Sometimes it's a flawless strike, sometimes a rare error, sometimes a perfect state of preservation against impossible odds, and sometimes it's a combination of all three. But here's where things start to get interesting. Because while the average 1945 penny is worth a few cents, maybe a couple dollars in nice condition, a select few have been graded at such extraordinary quality that they enter a completely different universe of value. One of these elusive gems recently sold for $945,000, and collectors are still hungry for more. Now, you might be thinking, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? Is it magical? Does it grant 3 wishes? Does it turn into a Ferrari when you rub it? Sadly, no. If it did, trust me, the line of collectors would wrap around the planet twice. The reason is simpler but far more powerful. Wealthy collectors want what no one else can have. And in the world of rare coins, perfection is the ultimate treasure. A near-perfect 1945 penny, untouched by time, handled maybe once or twice in 80 years, is like holding history frozen in amber. These elite coins are graded by professionals with microscopes, measuring every detail. The sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the depth of the wheat stalks on the reverse, the absence of scratches, the purity of the luster. And when a 1945 penny reaches the highest levels of preservation, levels so rare that maybe 1 in millions survive, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. That is where the astronomical prices come from. Not hype, not fantasy, but the undeniable laws of rarity, demand, and historical significance. Now, let's shift gears for a moment, because I want you to picture something personal. Imagine standing at an auction, your heart pounding, palms sweating. The auctioneer calls out a number that makes your stomach drop. Then another, then another. The bidding intensifies. The room is electric. And then, the final hammer falls. Your coin, your tiny little penny, just sold for nearly $1 million. Your life has just changed forever. That's the excitement these coins carry. But with excitement comes fear. Because every year, people unknowingly lose fortunes by not recognizing what they have. They toss rare coins into charity jars, leave them in the sun where they corrode, or spend them at the gas station without realizing they just bought a soda with a piece of American history worth hundreds of thousands. And that's why this moment matters. Because whether you already have a 1945 penny tucked away, or you're planning to start checking every coin that passes through your hands, you're now part of the small group of people who understand the truth. Wealth isn't always earned through sweat. Sometimes, it's discovered through knowledge, let's explore what separates an ordinary 1945 penny from the legendary, life-changing ones. The first factor is condition. Condition is everything. A coin graded at the highest mint state levels, MS 67, MS 68, even MS 69, becomes exponentially more valuable. Out of hundreds of millions produced, only a microscopic number survived without scratches, discoloration, or dull surfaces. The second factor is rarity within the grade. Even if thousands of 1945 pennies survive, only a dozen or fewer may exist in a flawless state. That's what wealthy collectors chase, the top 1% of the top 1%. The third factor is errors. Now, not every error is valuable, but certain wartime strike anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, can significantly boost the value of a 1945 penny. And yes, some of those have sold for shockingly high prices. If your 1945 penny has an unusual marking, a double date, or a strange misalignment, don't ignore it. That could be the golden ticket hiding in plain sight. Before we continue, here's a quick moment to shake things up. What if I told you there might be a 1945 penny in your house right now worth enough to buy? Let's see. A beach house, 2 luxury cars, and maybe even that retirement dream you've been pushing off for years. Sounds unbelievable, right? But so did electricity, airplanes, and online dating, and look where we are now. So yes, unbelievable things happen every day. They just happen to people who pay attention. Now let's bring this full circle. You've learned what makes these pennies rare. You've learned why collectors will pay life-changing amounts. But here's the real question. What does this mean for you? It means you could be far closer to unexpected wealth than you think. Millions of Americans have old coin jars filled with pre-1950s coins. Many were inherited from parents and grandparents who never considered their value. Most people toss them into a box, put them on a shelf, forget they exist, and walk away from fortunes. Your job now is simple. Look, check old drawers, safes, jars, boxes in the basement, envelopes inside old Bibles, even the glove compartment of the car your grandfather left behind. A rare 1945 penny could be anywhere, waiting for the right pair of eyes. But here's the urgency. High-grade coins are becoming harder to find every year. Time is not on the side of condition. Coins corrode. They get scratched. They get spent. They disappear. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find one in that million-dollar condition. Collectors know this, and that's why the demand is rising instead of falling. And here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. Because after all this talk of rarity and fortune, here is the truth most people never hear. The next million-dollar 1945 penny has not been found yet. Somewhere out there. Maybe in a roll of pennies, maybe in a forgotten collection, maybe sitting quietly in someone's kitchen drawer, is a coin that will break the next record. Someone will find it. Someone will sell it. Someone will become the next person whose life changes because of one small piece of metal. And that someone could be you. Hold on to that thought for a moment. Let it sink in. A single coin minted 80 years ago could become the spark that ignites your financial transformation. Not because of luck, but because of knowledge, preparation, and action. So as we wrap things up, here's your takeaway. Don't underestimate the power of old coins. Don't ignore pennies just because they seem insignificant. And never assume something has no value simply because it looks ordinary. Ordinary things become extraordinary when you understand what makes them special. Start checking your coins. Start researching. Start becoming the kind of person who recognizes opportunities that others overlook. Wealth doesn't always come from working harder. Sometimes it comes from seeing what others can't. And the next time you hold a 1945 penny in your hand, remember this moment. Because that tiny copper coin might be worth far more than you ever imagined. It might be the key to the wealthy lifestyle you've dreamed about, the financial freedom you've waited for, and the opportunity that finally arrives when you decide to pay attention. Welcome back. Today, you're about to uncover the truth behind one of the most shocking and wealth-building opportunities hiding in plain sight. The USA 1967 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin so ordinary that millions of Americans passed it through their hands without a second thought. Yet today, one extraordinary example has reached a staggering market value of $967,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a single old penny. And if that number jolts you, good. Because it should. Let's begin with a question most people never ask. What if the next step toward real wealth isn't in stocks, real estate, or crypto, but sitting quietly inside an old jar of pennies in your closet? Sounds crazy, right? But so does the idea of a copper coin changing your life. And yet, it already has for some people. The story of the 1967 penny is not just about metal and minting errors. It's about timing, rarity, and the incredible way forgotten objects can become financial turning points. It's also about you because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what signs to look for, how to value this coin, and why the window of opportunity is quietly closing faster than most people realize. But let's not jump ahead, because the story starts in a year marked by tension, transformation, and something surprisingly unusual happening at the U.S. Mint. In 1967, the United States was in the middle of a coin shortage crisis, a shortage so severe that the Mint made a drastic decision to remove mint marks from all coins. This meant every penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and half-dollar struck that year bore no sign of where it came from. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just silence. This decision was meant to stop collectors from hoarding coins. Ironically, it created some of the rarest and most valuable modern coins in history. The 1967 Lincoln cent was part of that chaotic year. Billions were made. People used them, tossed them, lost them. Kids dropped them into gumball machines. Adults tossed them into tip jars. Not a single person suspected that a handful of these cents would someday become some of the most desirable pieces in the rare coin market. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1967 pennies are worth only their face value, a tiny number struck with extraordinary precision, preserved in flawless condition, or carrying subtle minting anomalies, have become the golden needles in the haystack. And as grading standards rise, collectors with deep pockets are driving prices higher and higher. One near-perfect specimen recently pushed the market toward that eye-opening $967,000 mark. Think about that for a moment. A penny worth nearly $1 million. If that doesn't spark a little excitement and a little fear that you might overlook your own fortune, nothing will. Now let's pause for a pattern interrupt. Imagine telling your friends you made more money from a 1-cent coin than they made flipping houses for 5 years straight. The room goes silent. Someone asks, "Wait, a penny? Like the brown one?" Yes, the brown 1.so. What makes the 1967 penny capable of such extreme value? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and demand. After the coin shortage, collectors rushed to acquire high-grade examples of coins from this era. Over time, as more people started selling old coin collections, experts realized that only a microscopic number of 1967 pennies survived in pristine, untouched condition. Most were scratched, dented, or worn down by decades of circulation. And the few that remained flawless became the holy grail. High-grade 1967 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln cents, especially those with razor-sharp details and brilliant surfaces, are commanding astonishing prices at auctions. Wealthy buyers, investors, and collectors compete fiercely for them. Bidding wars erupt, prices climb, and every time a record is broken, the value of the next perfect example surges. Not slowly, but dramatically. But here comes the fear factor you need to understand. These opportunities do not last forever. When the market realizes how limited the supply truly is, demand tightens and prices explode. Then, just as quickly, the window slams shut. The biggest profits always go to those who act early, not those who wait until everyone else is talking about it. Now let's connect this to your personal journey. You're watching this because you're someone who understands that wealth isn't just about luck. It's about recognizing hidden opportunities before the rest of the world wakes up. You want to create financial freedom, secure your future, and maybe even pass down generational wealth. And that starts by learning exactly what to look for in the 1967 penny. Look at the surface first. A $1 million penny is not dusty, scratched, or dull. It glows. It has original mint luster so bright it almost looks alive. Then look at the strike. The details on Lincoln's hair, beard, and jacket should be crisp, sharp, and perfectly formed. Next, look at any unusual features. Die cracks, double dies, off-center strikes, these errors can multiply the value dramatically. And finally, condition is king. Coins graded at the highest levels aren't just rare, they're almost impossibly rare. That's why collectors pay life-changing money for them. But here's where the excitement builds. You don't need special equipment to start. You just need your eyes, your attention, and the willingness to check those old coins you've been ignoring for decades. Think about how many times you've emptied your pockets into a drawer or tossed old change into a box without a second thought. What if your own six-figure penny has been sitting there this entire time? Now here's a cliffhanger for you. There's a secret reason why the 1967 penny is becoming even more valuable with each passing year, but we'll get to that in a moment. Before that, let's address something people rarely admit. Most Americans underestimate the value of coins because they've been trained to think small. Penny is worth a penny. That's it. But the wealthy don't think that way. They understand that value is created by rarity, demand, and timing. And right now, the 1967 penny sits at the exact intersection of all three. The supply is tiny, the demand is skyrocketing, and the timing is perfect. Now back to that cliffhanger. The secret reason the 1967 penny is rising so fast is because new collectors are entering the market at historic rates. Younger investors, digital collectors, and global buyers are transforming this once quiet hobby into a booming marketplace. That means prices are no longer driven only by traditional collectors. They're driven by investors with serious money. And when big money enters any market, values don't just rise. They erupt. This is why selling now, or at least getting your coins graded, can place you in a position of tremendous financial advantage. A penny worth $1 million today could be worth even more tomorrow. Or the window could narrow. That uncertainty creates urgency, and urgency creates opportunity for those who act. Let's use another pattern interrupt to ground this moment. Imagine someone asking you what you're doing this weekend and you casually respond, "Oh, I'm just checking my pennies for hidden wealth. Normal stuff." They laugh. Then you show them a screenshot of a $967,000 auction result. Suddenly nobody's laughing. Now picture yourself opening that old jar of coins. You sift through them one by one, and then you see it, perfect, shiny, untouched. Your heart jumps, your palms sweat, and for the first time in your life, the idea of becoming instantly wealthy doesn't feel like a fantasy. It feels possible. That's the emotional power of knowledge. When you understand what others ignore, you unlock opportunities they never see. So let's bring everything together. The 1967 no-mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny is not just a coin. It is a reminder that wealth hides in unexpected places. It is proof that small things can create big change. It's a symbol of the fact that anyone, at any time, can stumble upon something extraordinary. You now understand the history, the rarity, the grading secrets, the rising demand, the emotional triggers, and the financial potential. You know how close you might be to finding your own life-changing coin. And you understand why the moment to act is right now. Because every great wealth story starts the same way, with one decision to look closer. So check your coins. Search your jars. Open those forgotten boxes. Because the next $967,000 penny might be in your hand. Welcome back. Today, you and I are stepping into the shadows of American history to uncover a secret so powerful it can change someone's life overnight. Imagine walking into a quiet room, opening an old box and finding a single coin, a 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and discovering it's worth more than a luxury home. Yes, a coin that cost 1 cent to create has reached a current market value of $978,000. And in rare cases, depending on condition, provenance, and specific errors, it has sold for even more, touching the edge of the $1 million mark. If you're holding old pennies right now, or thinking about digging through your inherited jars and dusty drawers after this video, you're already on the right path. Because today, we're not just talking about coins. We're talking about opportunity, timing, and the chance to live wealthier, calmer, and more financially free than ever before. But before we reach the heart of how a simple 1978 penny can carry a nearly $1 million price tag, let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown away a penny thinking it was worthless? If you have, don't worry, you're not alone. Millions of Americans have done that. And every time one of them tossed a penny aside, someone else picked one up and became richer because of it. Funny how pennies really do decide who ends up winning. Let's begin with a moment that changed everything for collectors. It starts with a curiosity. Why would a penny from 1978, a modern coin with no mint mark, suddenly become one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world? At first glance, it's nothing special. Copper-toned, worn surface, Lincoln on the front, the memorial on the back. A coin that circulated in the pockets of everyday Americans. But beneath that ordinary appearance hides a mystery. A twist in history that most people never knew was there. And that's when things get interesting. The U.S. Mint in the 1970s was under pressure. Rising copper prices, changing manufacturing standards, and experimental striking conditions led to a handful of coins being struck with unusual characteristics. Among them, a small number of 1978 pennies emerged with anomalies, subtle, nearly invisible differences that would only reveal themselves decades later. Tiny imperfections, slight doubling, off-center impressions, metal inconsistencies, microscopic markers that most people would never notice. But collectors did, experts did, investors did. And once the first extraordinary 1978 no-mint mark penny hit the auction block with a price tag that shocked everyone in the room, something shifted. Suddenly, everyone wanted to see if theirs could be the next hidden jackpot. Imagine the scene. A quiet auction hall. A coin graded near perfection, shimmering under the spotlight. The bidding begins. First a few thousand, then tens of thousands. Before long, the room tightens. Palms sweat. Heartbeats synchronize with each raise of a paddle. And before anyone can blink, the final bid locks in at a number so high you wonder whether you misheard it. That's the moment people realized. This coin is no longer just a collectible. It is a symbol of hidden wealth, patience, and discovery. Now, you might be wondering, do you need an incredibly rare version to strike it big? Do you need a perfect condition penny to make a life-changing profit? Surprisingly, not always. Even moderately preserved examples have reached staggering numbers. Why? Because demand is rising, supply is disappearing, and collectors are paying more than ever for coins previously considered ordinary. Yes, ordinary. How many ordinary things in your life might secretly carry extraordinary value? That's a question worth thinking about. Before we go deeper, I want to pause and ask you something unexpected. A pattern interrupt to reset your attention. Did you know that more people have better luck finding rare coins in their sofa than winning the lottery? True story. Think about it the next time you sit down. You might be crushing a fortune without even knowing it. Alright, back in. Let's talk about the power of condition. The highest valued 1978 penny to date reached an astonishing $978,000 because it was in a breathtaking state. Nearly flawless surfaces, sharp details, strong luster, and most importantly, exceptional rarity in its grade. The difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth 6 figures can be something as tiny as a scratch you need a microscope to see. That's where preparation meets opportunity. And where timing becomes everything. But don't think it ends there. Grading is a competitive arena. Collectors are always scanning the horizon for the next coin that can break records, and the 1978 no-mint mark penny keeps returning with surprises. Every year, new discoveries appear. Coins found in bankrolls, tucked inside drawers, tucked into inheritance boxes, or collected by parents and grandparents who had no idea what they were protecting. Each discovery pushes demand higher, and each record sale pushes dreams higher, too. That brings us to the heart of this journey, the emotional value of possibility. Imagine the moment you find that rare coin. Your chest tightens, your breath stops, your hands shake just a little. You feel something you haven't felt in years. That spark of excitement, that whisper that says, maybe this is my turning point. It's the kind of excitement that leads to stories worth telling for generations. But here's where fear comes in, the fear of missing out. The fear of ignoring an opportunity hiding right in your own home. Many people are sitting on rare coins and don't even know it. They let them slip away. They spend them on coffee. They give them out as change. And years later, when they hear a story like this, they wonder why they didn't look closer. Don't let that be you. let's shift gears and talk about the connection between rarity, demand, and wealth. Coins become valuable not just because they're old, but because they represent a moment in history where something unusual happened. In 1978, the mint's transitional experiments and changes created a small window where a few coins ended up different, just different enough to become treasures. Those slight variants created something economists call scarcity value. And scarcity value is what transforms normal objects into multimillion-dollar opportunities. Now here comes the cliffhanger. And trust me, this is where things get really exciting. Because the highest valued 1978 penny ever recorded is not necessarily the highest valued one that exists. Somewhere, maybe in a safe, a jar, a forgotten box, there is a coin even better, even sharper, even rarer. A coin that could cross the million-dollar threshold the moment it appears. And it might be sitting in someone's house right now. Could it be yours? Could you be holding a fortune without even knowing it? That possibility is what keeps collectors awake at night. It's what drives treasure hunters to keep searching. And it's what fuels this growing movement of everyday Americans who want to turn old change into new wealth. Let's bring everything together with clarity. If you want to take advantage of this opportunity, you need to take 3 steps. First, go through your coins. All of them. Look closely at any 1978 pennies. A missing mint mark is expected because Philadelphia pennies didn't use mint marks that year. But you're looking for condition, sharpness, and signs of special characteristics like doubling or off-center strikes. Second, separate anything that seems unusual or exceptionally clean. Even the tiniest difference can mean the difference between $10 and $100. 000. Third, get your best finds evaluated. Professional grading transforms guesswork into guaranteed value. A coin that looks ordinary to one person can become a life-changing discovery once certified. But here's the part people forget. Wealth is not just about money. It's about freedom, stability, the chance to make choices without fear. And sometimes that journey begins not with a business deal or an investment, but with a penny. A single, tiny penny that carries more value than anything you ever imagined. Now, before we close, let me give you one more pattern interrupt. Something funny yet painfully true. The same people who say pennies are useless are the ones who panic when they drop a quarter in a vending machine. Just goes to show, value isn't about size. It's about perception. And speaking of perception, you now see the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in a different light. To most people, it's just a coin. To others, it's a hidden gateway to a wealthier life. A reminder that fortunes aren't always buried underground. They're often hiding in plain sight, so here you are, standing at the edge of possibility. Somewhere in the mix of your old coins, your parents' collectibles, your inherited boxes, there might be a treasure waiting to be discovered. A treasure capable of lifting you into a new chapter of comfort, stability, and prosperity. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that has the power to transform the way you look at every single coin lying quietly in your home. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar, and discovering that the penny you almost spent on a cup of coffee is actually worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. It sounds unbelievable, but the USA 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny has already made that dream a reality for a few lucky individuals. With a current market value reaching an astonishing $980,000, this small copper coin has turned ordinary people into near-millionaires overnight. But before we get too deep, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked that old change jar in your kitchen? Or the dusty shoebox filled with coins in your closet? If your answer is never, then buckle up, because by the end of this video, you might find yourself sprinting toward it like it holds the secrets to your future wealth. This story starts in a place many of us know well. The moment we realize that hidden treasures aren't always buried in distant lands. Sometimes they're sitting right in our hands. The 1980 no-mint Mark penny may look like a common coin, but its rare errors, historical background, and powerful collector demand have elevated it into one of the most sought-after pennies in modern coin collecting. And yes, some examples have sold for nearly $1 million. What makes this coin so special? Why are collectors fighting to get their hands on it? And more importantly, how can you find out if one of these rare gems is already in your possession? Stay with me, because each answer uncovers another layer of this extraordinary story. Picture this. It's 1980, a time before smartphones, before social media, before digital everything. America was shifting, industries were evolving, and the US Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents. Most of them were ordinary, just everyday coins moving through pockets and cash registers. But a small fraction slipped through the cracks with rare and remarkable characteristics. No mint mark, unusual die states, mint errors that would later skyrocket their value to unthinkable heights. And while millions of people used these coins without knowing, a few sharp-eyed collectors discovered something extraordinary. Now, before you rush off to check under your couch cushions, let's understand this coin from the ground up. The no mint mark means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't begin adding a mint mark until later. But here's the twist. What looks like a simple detail becomes a gateway to identifying some of the rarest mistakes ever made during production. Early die strikes with crisp details, off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on transitional planchets have been recorded, and those unique characteristics are exactly what push values into the hundreds of thousands. And here's where things get even more interesting. Many of the highest value 1980 pennies didn't start their journey in the hands of experts. They were found by everyday people. Teachers, truck drivers, nurses, retirees who simply took the time to look closely. Some found them in old savings boxes, others inside inherited coin collections, and a few lucky individuals found them mixed in loose change. Imagine the fear of accidentally spending $1 million coin. It's enough to make anyone check their pockets twice. But the real fear isn't losing the coin. The real fear is missing the opportunity to find one. If you think this coin is rare, you're absolutely right. But rare doesn't mean impossible. And that's the excitement that has pushed so many collectors into action. Every day, someone discovers a coin they never knew could change their financial future. Your penny could be next. Your story could be the one that inspires the next generation of collectors. And yes, your coin could be worth more than your car, your home, or even your retirement savings. Before we go deeper, let's hit a quick pattern interrupt. Have you ever wondered how many people threw away valuable coins simply because they didn't feel like wearing their reading glasses? Just imagine someone tossing a $900,000 penny in a donation jar because they thought it was just another coin. Painful, right? Don't be that person. Now, let's shift our focus to what truly drives the value of this coin. Its condition. Condition is everything in the world of rare pennies. A crisp, uncirculated 1980 no mint mark penny with the right errors or traits can break auction records. One flawless example graded at the highest level sold for a staggering $980,000. That's not a rumor. That's a financial turning point for someone who simply paid attention. Collectors value sharp details in Lincoln's portrait, clean edges, bold lettering, and a smooth, unblemished surface. If your coin has full original luster, minimal scratches, or looks like it has barely touched human hands, it could be a life-changing piece. But here comes another twist, a cliffhanger worth hanging on to. Some of the most valuable 1980 pennies don't look perfect at all. Some valuable coins have strange shapes, odd cuts, off-center designs, or doubled features. Imperfections that would ruin most objects actually transform these pennies into priceless treasures. It's one of the only times in life where a flaw increases your worth. Wouldn't it be nice if real life worked that way? Let's go even further. Demand for this coin has skyrocketed in recent years as more people learn about its potential value. Auction houses have recorded massive bidding wars. Wealthy collectors are aggressively hunting for the highest grade examples. The excitement is building, the competition is fierce, and the market shows no signs of slowing down. When people realize that a penny in their pocket could be the key to a wealthy lifestyle, the urgency becomes impossible to ignore. So ask yourself, how would your life change if you suddenly discovered you were holding a $980,000 coin? Would you travel the world? Pay off your home? Start a business? Secure your children's future? Or maybe finally enjoy the lifestyle you've always imagined but never had the opportunity to build? This isn't just about a coin. It's about possibility. It's about reclaiming the wealth hidden right in front of you. And it's about taking control of your financial future in a way that feels powerful, exciting, and surprisingly achievable. But we're not done yet, because now we're entering the final stage of this journey, the moment where knowledge becomes action. Finding this coin requires patience, but it doesn't require luck. Start by gathering every penny you have tucked away. Old jars, drawers, purses, cars, storage boxes, inherited collections. Check every single one. Set aside each 1980 penny you find. Inspect the details. Look closely at Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, the rim, and the coloration. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. And if you find something that looks promising, something out of the ordinary, get it evaluated by a professional coin grader. Here's a humorous thought to keep you alert. If your friends or family see you digging through old jars of pennies, don't worry about looking obsessed. Tell them you're doing financial research. Sounds much better than saying you've turned into a treasure hunter overnight. But remember this, time matters. Every year, fewer high-quality examples remain in circulation. Many have already been snatched up by collectors or worn down by time. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find one of these rare gems. Urgency isn't just a feeling. It's a strategy. We're reaching the end of this journey. But before we wrap up, here's one last cliffhanger. Somewhere out there, another 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is quietly waiting to be discovered. It might be sitting in a cup holder. It might be hiding in a forgotten wallet. It might even be in your home right now. And the next person to uncover one could be you. Your path to wealth doesn't have to start with $1 million paycheck. It can begin with a penny, one extraordinary penny that carries decades of history, rarity, and opportunity. Welcome back to the channel, where extraordinary stories of hidden wealth are uncovered one rare coin at a time. Today, you're about to discover a secret that most Americans have never heard. A truth quietly sitting inside old jars, shoeboxes, dresser drawers, and forgotten piggy banks. We're talking about the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin so deceptively ordinary that millions of people have handled it without ever realizing what it could truly be worth. And yes, believe it or not, the highest known market sale for a pristine example has reached an astonishing $986,000. That's nearly $1 million from a penny that most people would ignore if it fell on the sidewalk. Now, before you think this is just a fantasy or another internet rumor, let me tell you a story. It begins with a man who almost threw away a fortune. Imagine cleaning out an old storage box, brushing dust off old birthday cards, finding movie ticket stubs from decades ago, and then, almost as an afterthought, spotting a small handful of old pennies. Most people would toss them into a jar, maybe cash them in at the supermarket. But this man paused, and that simple pause changed everything. Among those coins was a 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, in a condition so exceptional that it defied belief. He almost spent it on a pack of gum. Instead, he decided to look closer. That moment of curiosity turned into a life-changing moment of discovery. And that's where our journey begins, with a simple but powerful question. How many fortunes have been lost simply because people never stopped to look? It's a frightening thought. The idea that someone out there is holding $1 million coin but doesn't even know it. Maybe it's sitting in a kitchen drawer right now. Maybe it's still in your pocket as you watch this video. Don't worry, I'm not suggesting you empty your pockets right now, but if you do, I won't judge. The truth is, rare coins don't shout. They whisper. And the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the quietest whispers of all. Struck during a transition period in American minting history, some examples were produced with extraordinary die conditions, perfectly sharp details, and unusual clarity. But what makes a specific coin truly valuable is something collectors call the perfect storm: rarity, exceptional preservation, and historical significance. The 1986 penny checks all three boxes when found in high-grade condition. Most people spent them the moment they got them. But the few that survived untouched, hidden away in rolls or collections, became silent treasures waiting to be discovered. Now here's where things get exciting. The market for old and rare pennies is skyrocketing. Baby boomers and Gen X collectors are in their prime buying years, and they're driving prices to levels no one expected a decade ago. You might feel a little rush of excitement right now, and that's good because you should. But along with that excitement, there's also a bit of fear. the fear of missing out, the fear of looking back years later and realizing you had a chance to uncover something extraordinary but never took action. It's the same fear people feel when they hear stories of someone finding a rare coin worth six figures while they walked right past their own hidden wealth. But stay with me, because things are about to go deeper, more valuable, and far more interesting. Let's talk about the coin itself. The 1986 Lincoln cent features the familiar wheat Lincoln design on the obverse, honoring Abraham Lincoln's legacy with its refined detail. But here's the twist. In 1986, pennies were typically produced with mint marks indicating their origin. When a coin appears with no mint mark, especially from a year where minting processes were consistent, it becomes a signal something unusual happened. Maybe it was a die error, maybe a mint equipment oversight, maybe a production anomaly that slipped into circulation. Whatever the reason, these no mint mark examples are dramatically rarer than their standard counterparts. Collectors love anomalies. They love stories. And they especially love coins that shouldn't exist. Now, I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine opening an old jar filled with pennies from the 80s, coins that you or someone in your family tossed aside decades ago. Imagine reaching in casually, without expecting anything special. And then suddenly, something catches your eye. You look closer, your heart beating just a little faster, and there it is, a 1986 penny with no mint mark. It's not damaged. It's not worn down. It's sharp, crisp, beautifully preserved. In that moment, you're not just holding 1 cent. You're holding a piece of history, a symbol of chance, and a potential life-changing asset. It doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, or 65 years old. This kind of discovery hits everyone the same way. It ignites excitement. It fills your mind with possibilities. It makes you imagine the wealth, the relief, the freedom that could come from selling a rare coin for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a feeling that lifts you, reminds you that opportunities still exist even in an unpredictable world. And for many, that moment becomes their turning point. But let me interrupt myself here with a quick reset. If the idea of a penny being worth nearly $1 million sounds unbelievable, just remember, so did the idea of your phone replacing maps, cameras, calculators, and newspapers. The world is full of surprises. Rare coins are just one of the few surprises that actually pay you. Now, back to the value. The record-shattering sale of $986,000 wasn't random. It was driven by collectors who understand that perfect-condition rare coins are incredibly scarce and only getting scarcer. Once a coin reaches the highest grade, it becomes part of a tiny, elite group. Fewer than a handful in the world may share that same grade. That exclusivity turns collectors into competitors, bidding against one another until the price climbs into numbers most people will never see in their lifetime. Here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. Many experts believe the next sale of a top-grade 1986 no-mint mark penny could break the $1 million barrier. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the question is, will the next $1 million penny be the one sitting in your home right now? But to find out, you need to know what to look for. You need knowledge. And knowledge is where true wealth begins. Check the fields of the coin, the smooth surfaces. They should be clean, free from scratches and spots. Look at Lincoln's cheek and jawline. Sharp details usually indicate low wear and high preservation. Study the lettering and the edges. Coins with strong strikes, clear rims, and crisp details command significantly higher prices than average examples. And of course, check for that missing mint mark under the year. The funny thing is, once people learn what to look for, they often find themselves inspecting every penny that passes through their hands. It becomes a treasure hunt, one where the treasure is real. Some even develop a new hobby, a new passion, or even a new income source by reselling old and rare coins. And for some lucky few, it becomes their path to financial transformation. But be warned, opportunities like this don't sit around forever. As collectors continue to buy and hoard rare pennies, fewer of them are left in circulation or accessible to the public. Prices rise, supply falls. The longer you wait, the fewer chances you have to find one of these hidden gems before they disappear into permanent collections. And here's another thought that might give you goosebumps. Every year, thousands of rare coins are lost forever, thrown away, melted down, or spent unknowingly. The idea that $1 million coin could vanish simply because someone didn't take a moment to look is terrifying. It's a quiet tragedy of hidden wealth slipping through the cracks of everyday life. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine being the person who didn't miss their chance. Imagine discovering a penny worth 6 figures or more. Imagine selling it, paying off debts, upgrading your lifestyle, investing in new opportunities, securing your family's future. Imagine the relief, the freedom, the pride, the story you'll tell for the rest of your life. That's why videos like this matter. Not because coins are interesting, though they are, but because knowledge is power, awareness is opportunity, and attention, right? Welcome back to the channel. Today, you're about to discover the unbelievable hidden value inside a coin so ordinary. Most people passed it through vending machines, dropped it into jars, or let it slip between their car seats without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these common-looking coins has recently shocked collectors with a staggering market value of up to $991,000? Yes, almost $1 million for a single USA 1991 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. And the moment you understand why, you might start questioning every coin that has ever touched your hands. Imagine holding that little copper-coated coin between your fingers, feeling the weight of something that could change your financial future. For many, the journey begins with a simple realization. The wealth they're seeking may already be lying somewhere in their homes, tucked away in a drawer, hiding in a dusty coin jar, or resting quietly in an old box handed down from family. There has never been a better time to uncover these forgotten treasures, and today's story might be the turning point you've been waiting for. Let's start at the moment it all began. A man in his mid-50s, living an ordinary life, cleaning out his father's belongings, stumbled upon a small pouch of old pennies. Nothing special at first glance, just a bunch of brown coins. But one caught his eye, the 1991 penny with a tiny D Mint mark. He almost tossed it aside, assuming it was just another common cent. Little did he know, he was seconds away from discovering a coin that would transform his life forever. Sometimes extraordinary fortune hides inside the smallest details, and this coin proved it. Now, before we go deeper, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your change? Seriously, when did you last look closely enough to see the date, the mint mark, or the smallest imperfections? Most people don't even glance. But fortune favors those who pay attention. And if you're watching this, chances are you already feel the pull, the suspicion that your own forgotten pennies might hold secrets worth life-changing money. And you're right to wonder, what makes the 1991 D Lincoln penny so valuable? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a rare blend of scarcity, demand, errors, and collector obsession. The Denver minted pennies of 1991 were mass-produced, but only a microscopic number came out with extremely rare die varieties and minting errors so subtle the average person will never spot them. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and coins minted on transitional planchets that should not have existed. These rare anomalies create the difference between a penny that's worth 1 cent and a penny worth nearly $1 million. It's kind of like finding a typo in the Declaration of Independence printed on gold. One tiny mistake, one massive reward. But here's where the story gets even more fascinating. The man we mentioned earlier didn't know anything about rare coins. He simply felt curious. Curiosity, that tiny spark, became the gateway to an opportunity worth almost $1 million. Imagine what that kind of money could do for you. A new home, a debt-free life, a chance to retire early, a chance to invest, a chance to breathe, all from a coin smaller than a poker chip. Before we continue, let me interrupt with a quick reality check. How many times have you told yourself you'll start looking through your coins one day? How many times have you said, "It's probably nothing," or "I'll do it later"? Don't worry, you're not alone. But let this be your humorous wake-up call. If your future millionaire coin is sitting in a jar right now, waiting while you scroll on your phone, it's going to be pretty offended. And honestly, wouldn't it be a little embarrassing if your wealth was hiding with the spare batteries and rubber bands in that kitchen junk drawer? So let's keep going, because what happens next is exactly why people across the country are scrambling to examine their old pennies. When the man sent his coin for grading, he expected maybe 20 bucks, maybe 50. That's what common collectors get for circulated pennies. But when the grading results came back, everything shifted. His 1991 penny was not just rare. It was nearly flawless, struck in a condition that almost never survives circulation. Imagine his heart pounding as he opened the report. The experts had declared it a top-tier rarity, one that collectors dream of but almost never encounter in the wild. This was the moment when ordinary became historic. Why do collectors value this coin so highly? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors. First, the Denver Mint in 1991 had several recorded die deterioration issues, leading to unexpected varieties. These varieties, especially when combined with exceptional condition, create extreme premiums. Second, coins with mint errors from the 1990s are far rarer than their earlier counterparts because of improved minting technology, meaning any surviving high-value error is an anomaly. And third, demand has exploded as more people turn to physical collectibles for wealth preservation. Each of these forces pushes the value upward, turning what was once pocket change into a financial powerhouse. Be why now you might be thinking, do I have one of these? And that question right there is where excitement begins and fear kicks in. Because yes, you might have one, but someone else might find theirs first. Someone else might sell theirs first. Someone else might take your opportunity simply because they took action sooner. That fear, the fear of missing out, is real. And when you consider how many people unknowingly throw money like this into bank coin machines, it becomes even more urgent. Let's add a cliffhanger here, because I know you're wondering, what exactly did the man do next? Did he sell the coin immediately? Did he keep it? Did he announce it to the world? The truth might surprise you. He didn't sell it. Not at first. Instead, he did something extraordinary. He learned. He educated himself about coins. He realized that this discovery was not an accident. It was a wake-up call. And once he understood the potential of rare pennies, he went searching for more. Within months, he uncovered additional coins worth thousands, even tens of thousands. His story became the inspiration for thousands of collectors today. People who now understand that wealth does not always come from a stock portfolio, a high-paying job, or a business empire. Sometimes it comes from looking at what you already have and seeing it with new eyes. So let's talk about you for a moment. Imagine finding a coin in your own home, maybe in that jar on your dresser, that purse you haven't used in years, or that old box of your parents' belongings. Imagine the moment you realize you're holding something rare, something valuable, something life-changing. Picture yourself sending it for grading and waiting for the results. Imagine the excitement mixed with fear, that pounding heartbeat as you open the envelope. And then imagine seeing a number so shocking you have to sit down. $991,000. That's not a fantasy. That's today's real market value for the highest grade examples of the 1991 Lincoln penny, driven by collector competition, scarcity, and a market that continues to rise as more people recognize the value of rare coins. Before we move toward what this means for your financial life, let me give you a quick pattern interrupt. If you've been listening this long, take a moment to blink twice. Yes, I'm serious. Blink twice. You're still here, still watching, still focused, and that alone means you are the type of person who doesn't ignore opportunity. Now, let's connect everything we've talked about into one clear truth. Wealth often hides in the places we least expect. And right now, millions of pennies are circulating with hidden potential, coins minted with errors, struck in rare varieties, or preserved in incredible condition. Most people will never know. Most people will never look. But the few who do, they become the stories we tell. So here's the final emotional push, the moment where fear, excitement, and urgency collide. Somewhere in this country, someone is going to find the next high-value 1991 penny. Someone is going to discover a life-changing coin. Someone is going to claim that million-dollar opportunity. The question is, will it be you? As we wrap up, remember this: powerful opportunities rarely announce themselves. They whisper, they hide, they wait. And today, you learned that one of the smallest, quietest pieces of American currency could be your doorway to the wealthy lifestyle you've been dreaming of. The home, the freedom, the comfort, the security, all within a penny. So don't wait another day. Start searching. Start looking closely. Start checking every coin. Your future might already be in your hands, you just haven't recognized it yet. Thank you for watching, and may your next penny be the one that changes everything. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, something so ordinary that most people wouldn't give it a second glance. Yet this tiny piece of metal could unlock a fortune worth nearly $1 million. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary story of the 1992 D Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that seems humble but has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and dreamers alike. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why some pennies aren't just pocket change. They are keys to life-changing wealth. Picture this: a simple penny, a relic from the early 1990s, sitting quietly in a jar of spare change on someone's kitchen counter. To the casual observer, it's just another coin, easily overlooked and easily spent. But for the person who recognizes its rarity, it represents a ticket to a world most only dream about. A world where a single coin can hold the power to alter a life forever. The 1992 D Lincoln Wheat penny isn't your everyday 1-cent piece. Its story begins in the bustling U.S. Mint, where coins are stamped by the millions, yet somehow, this particular penny emerged in a way that makes it incredibly rare. Something went wrong, or maybe, if you prefer, perfectly right during its creation. A minting error, an anomaly in the striking process, or perhaps a misplacement that led to this penny being produced in a form that collectors now crave. Humor me for a moment. How often do you pick up a penny and think, this could be worth almost $1 million someday? Most of us toss them into jars, feed them into vending machines, or ignore them entirely. Yet here lies the irony. What we see as insignificant, others see as life-altering. This 1992 D penny embodies a hidden truth about wealth and opportunity. It exists where most people aren't looking, in places where they discard what they don't understand. That jar of spare change could be a vault, if only someone recognized the potential. But what makes this penny so valuable? To answer that, we need to understand rarity. Not all rare coins are valuable, and not all valuable coins are rare. The 1992 D Wheat penny is a convergence of both. It was struck in limited numbers due to specific minting circumstances, making it scarce. This condition, when preserved over time, amplifies its value. Imagine a coin that has survived decades, untouched, retaining its original luster, a silent witness to history. Collectors see not just metal, but a story, a piece of heritage, and the thrill of owning something no one else can easily possess. You might be asking yourself, a penny from 1992, really? Worth that much? And I get it, it sounds absurd, but the coin market is full of surprises. One of the most exciting parts of coin collecting is that rarity is often hidden in plain sight. People walk past fortune every day, unaware of what they carry. That's where the fear and excitement collide. The fear of missing out on unimaginable wealth, the excitement that it might be right under your nose. One penny, if you have the knowledge to recognize it, could be the difference between ordinary life and extraordinary fortune. Now, imagine walking into a coin dealer's office or attending an auction. The energy is palpable. Collectors are tense, scanning tables, weighing coins, and whispering about what might appear next. Then, a single 1992 D Wheat Lincoln penny surfaces. Eyes widen, bids escalate, and a once ordinary object transforms into a spectacle of wealth. That's the kind of exhilaration this coin brings. A mix of anticipation, urgency, and opportunity. It's a reminder that fortunes can appear unexpectedly, and sometimes they come in the form of something we've been ignoring for decades. Here's a little pattern interrupt for you. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln, whose face graces this coin, was famously born into humble beginnings? He understood the value of every small thing, every opportunity, and every decision. In a way, holding a rare Lincoln penny connects us to that legacy. A symbol of potential, persistence, and prosperity. You might chuckle at the thought, but the metaphor is powerful. From humble origins, greatness can emerge. That's exactly what this coin represents. Transitioning from excitement to opportunity, consider the financial impact. A 1992 D Mint Mark wheat penny in pristine condition could command prices approaching $992,000 today. Nearly $1 million for a single coin. Think about that for a moment. Many of us spend hundreds, if not thousands, on fleeting luxuries. A fancy dinner, a new gadget, without realizing that hidden in a drawer, a simple coin could surpass all of those expenditures in value. This isn't just wealth, it's a life-changing asset. But here's the urgency you need to feel. Coins like this don't remain rare forever. Every passing year, more pennies are lost, damaged, or melted down. The supply is shrinking, while demand among collectors and investors grows. The window to discover or sell one is finite. There's a thrilling, almost cinematic tension in knowing that a coin could sit under your nose, waiting, and if you don't act, someone else will seize it. That's the fear and excitement of rare coin collecting. The mix that keeps collectors awake at night and chasing opportunities with passion. Now, let's talk strategy, because recognizing a rare penny is only part of the journey. Preservation is key. A coin in pristine condition, untouched and well-stored, exponentially increases its value. Handling, cleaning, or damaging it can diminish its worth in ways that are almost impossible to reverse. That's why collectors treat these coins like precious artifacts. This isn't just about having a rare penny. It's about nurturing a treasure until the moment comes when it can be exchanged for maximum impact. Imagine the stories you could tell, not just about owning the coin, but about protecting and curating it over time, like a guardian of hidden wealth. And here's a twist. Even if you don't own one yet, knowledge itself is a form of wealth. Understanding the market, recognizing mint marks, and spotting subtle errors can empower you to find fortune where others see nothing. It's a skill that turns ordinary people into savvy investors, capable of uncovering millions in overlooked places. The 1992 D Mint Mark wheat penny is a perfect example. It rewards those who are vigilant, informed, and ready to seize opportunity. Let's pause for a moment and consider the emotional journey here. Fear, excitement, anticipation. These are powerful triggers. Fear of missing out, excitement at the possibility of immense wealth, anticipation for that life-altering discovery. Collecting rare coins is as much about the thrill as it is about the financial payoff. Every time you hold a penny like the 1992 D, you feel that tension and exhilaration. It's addictive, inspiring, and deeply satisfying. You're not just collecting metal. You're engaging with history, wealth, and human ingenuity. And now, imagine this cliffhanger. What if I told you that many of these coins are hiding in plain sight, tucked away in jars, drawers, or forgotten collections, waiting for someone like you to recognize their true value? The opportunity is closer than you think. The key is knowledge, vigilance, and timing. You might be sitting on a fortune right now, completely unaware. And that's the beauty and the suspense of coin collecting. The potential for life-changing discovery is always there, just waiting for the right moment. As we near the end of this journey, it's clear that the 1992 D Mint Mark wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, a lesson in patience, and a testament to the power of awareness. From humble beginnings to extraordinary potential, it embodies the essence of hidden wealth in a way few things can. It challenges us to see value where others see ordinary, to act decisively when opportunity arises, and to preserve what is rare and precious. So, the next time you pick up a penny, remember this story. Look closer, ask questions, and imagine the possibilities. That ordinary coin in your hand could be extraordinary. The 1992 D wheat Lincoln penny has already changed lives, and it has the power to change yours. The journey from overlooked metal to nearly $1 million treasure is not just about luck. It's about recognition, action, and the courage to see opportunity where others see nothing. The fortune is out there, waiting, and perhaps, just perhaps, it's already in your pocket. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that was casually forgotten in a drawer for decades, only to discover it could transform your life forever. Today, we are uncovering the secrets of the 1994 no-mint Mark wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a rare gem in the world of numismatics that could be worth nearly $1 million right now. Yes, you heard that right, $994,000. A single penny, overlooked by most, has the potential to unlock unimaginable wealth. And if you're watching this, it could very well be sitting in your pocket, your wallet, or that jar in the kitchen you call spare change. It starts innocently enough. A 1994 Lincoln penny, common, unremarkable, and something many of us passed around every day without a second thought. But here's the twist. The no-mint mark variety is what collectors drool over, the rare anomaly that elevates a simple cent to a collector's treasure. These pennies were produced during a time when mint marks identified where coins were struck. Most pennies from 1994 carry either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, but a select few emerged without any mint mark at all. A mistake? A rarity? Either way, it is the golden ticket in the humble guise of a 1-cent coin. Let me paint the picture for you. The wheat Lincoln penny was originally minted with the iconic wheat stalk reverse, symbolizing growth, prosperity, and the promise of the American dream. Now, imagine the irony. This tiny coin, meant to signify modesty and daily commerce, has grown into a symbol of extraordinary wealth. If you think about it, there's something poetic in that the very thing we often overlook in daily life could become the key to our financial freedom. And here's where it gets exciting. The current market value for a pristine 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is approaching $994,000. Just think about that. One coin could buy you a home, a fleet of luxury cars, or even your dream vacation around the world. But what's even more thrilling is how few people know this. Your neighbors, your coworkers, even your family might be walking past this gold mine every day, oblivious to its true value. You might be asking yourself, could it really be that simple? Could I just have one of these pennies lying around? The truth is, yes, but finding one is a game of patience, observation, and, frankly, luck. Not all 1994 pennies are created equal. The coin must be in exceptional condition, pristine, uncirculated, and with its wheat reverse intact. Any scratches, discoloration, or signs of wear can drastically affect the value. Think of it as hunting for a hidden masterpiece in your attic. The stakes are high, the thrill is real, and the rewards? Life-changing. But let's pause for a moment. You might be wondering how such a small coin can command nearly $1 million. The answer lies in rarity and demand. Numismatics is not just about coins. It's about history, story, and scarcity. Collectors are willing to pay handsomely for coins that are hard to find, especially those with anomalies or minting errors. The 1994 no-mint mark penny is a perfect storm of these factors. Its rarity is undeniable, and its story captivates. It's not just a coin. It's a tangible piece of history, a conversation starter, and a wealth-generating asset all in one. Now, here's a question to reset your attention. Have you ever thought about the last time you checked every penny in your wallet? Or dug through that jar of coins collecting dust on your shelf? It might sound trivial, but what if the next coin you pick up could change your life? It's like finding a lottery ticket that was hiding in plain sight. And yes, unlike the lottery, this is real, tangible, and completely legal. So how do you spot one of these rare pennies if it's lurking in your collection? First, check the obverse, the front of the coin featuring Lincoln's profile. Then, flip it over to see the wheat stalks. Most importantly, look for the mint mark, or rather, the absence of it. No D, no P, nothing at all. It's a subtle detail, but in the world of rare coins, subtlety is everything. The tiniest difference can be the difference between a coin worth a few cents and a coin worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions. And here's something that often surprises people. Condition trumps everything. A no-mint mark penny that has circulated, scratched, or tarnished may still have value, but nowhere near the astronomical figures we're talking about. Collectors prize perfection. That's why grading services exist, to authenticate coins and ensure their condition meets the high standards demanded by serious buyers. A coin that's graded as pristine or mint state can command 7 figures, while one that's flawed might fetch only a fraction of that. The emotional journey of owning or discovering such a coin is intense. There's excitement, fear, and urgency all at once. Fear because you might be holding wealth in your hands without even realizing it. Excitement because the possibility of selling it could mean financial freedom beyond your wildest dreams. Urgency, because these opportunities are fleeting. Every moment you wait, another collector might snap up a rare penny and claim that fortune. It's a race against time, a modern treasure hunt, and the prize is enormous. Let me tell you a story. A collector once stumbled upon a 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny at a flea market. He bought it for mere cents, thinking it was just another coin. Months later, after careful grading and authentication, he discovered it was worth nearly $1 million. That's the power of knowledge and timing. And here's the cliffhanger. There are probably more coins like this hidden in drawers, jars, and boxes across America. One day, one lucky person will stumble upon it, and their life will be irrevocably changed. But there's more to consider. Selling a coin of this magnitude isn't like selling a soda can or even a rare collectible. You need to approach it strategically. Auction houses, private collectors, and reputable dealers all play a role in ensuring you get the best value. And trust is key. A coin valued at nearly $1 million deserves careful handling, professional appraisal, and proper documentation. Skipping these steps could cost you hundreds of thousands or more. It's a high-stakes world, but the rewards mirror the risks. And speaking of risk, humor me for a moment. Imagine walking into a bank with a single penny and asking, "Can I cash this for nearly $1 million?" You'd probably get a funny look. But in the world of rare coins, this scenario is real. People have turned forgotten pennies into fortunes, transforming everyday objects into life-changing wealth. That's the magic, the allure, and the excitement that makes coin collecting not just a hobby, but a potential pathway to financial independence. Now, picture this. You've discovered your own 1994 no-mint Mark penny. It's in pristine condition, uncirculated, and authenticated. You hold it carefully, almost reverently, knowing that it could buy you anything you've ever dreamed of. That feeling of holding history, combined with the thrill of potential fortune, is unlike anything else. And here's the emotional kicker. This coin is not just money. It's freedom. Freedom to travel, to invest, to live life on your terms. It's the embodiment of opportunity. As we come toward the end, remember this. The 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than a coin. It's a story of chance, rarity, and timing. It's a reminder that wealth sometimes hides in plain sight, and that paying attention to the details can literally change your life. There's a reason collectors are willing to pay nearly $1 million for one. There's a reason experts urge caution, authentication, and strategic selling. And there's a reason why, somewhere in America, your own fortune could be sitting quietly, waiting for you to notice it. So here's the takeaway. Check your coins, examine your collections, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. The 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a testament to the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. It's a coin that inspires, excites, and reminds us that wealth is often closer than we think. Will you be the next person to discover this hidden treasure? Will the coin that changes your life already be in your possession, just waiting for you to recognize it? The answers could redefine everything you thought you knew about pennies and about opportunity itself. Time is precious, and so is this moment. Every day that passes is a day someone else might claim the fortune that could have been yours. Examine your change, scrutinize your collections, and embrace the thrill of discovery. Because the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than history. It's a life-altering treasure. And who knows? The very next penny you pick up might be the one that turns your ordinary life into an extraordinary legacy.